Hey, welcome back to Real Estate Excellence Podcast. Today is a little unique show. I always have the best of the best. Well, I have a company here today who's not only our sponsor, but they have a unique marketing concept of stage to sell realty. The merger of two individuals, Adrienne and Kevin, who's sitting here with me today, husband and wife, are not only obviously married, but they're also business partners as well. And Adrienne is your expert stager, and Kevin is your highly experienced real estate agent. And we have them here, and I want to welcome Kevin to the set. Kevin Grant, thank you for coming on the show today.
Hey, thanks. Great introduction. It's exciting to be here.
I appreciate you coming by. And as I mentioned, Stage to Sell provided this great furniture, this great artwork for our set. So those of you guys on Facebook Live this morning, Stage to Sell Realty. You definitely want to look them up. Adrienne did a great job when she came in and evaluated our makeshift set here. I mean, we're putting it together, but it looks great. Everyone has been really amazed by it.
Yeah, well, we love to make any space look great, so we love to make homes look great. And when we came in here, wanted to help Tracy out and small space, but you want to maximize it and have everyone feel comfortable. So we're happy to do it.
Excellent. So Kevin, we're gonna tap in a little bit to get to know you. As we're talking my normal retuning of the show, I want the audience to know where you're from. You said I think we were talking pre-show here. You actually went to high school in Pittsburgh.
I did. Yeah, I about 20 miles. East of Pittsburgh, small town, and I've been a Steeler fan for many, many years. So, I'll root for the Jags when every time they're not playing the Steelers.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay. And then Kevin goes on. I'm reading his bio there. Another Southern Conference. Everyone knows I graduated from the Citadel. Kevin actually went to Furman University.
Yeah, go Paladins. I should have worn my purple shirt today. I almost did, just to rub it in his face a little. But, go Paladins, Furman University, 88.
Furman is a obviously very highly respected institution in the upstate of South Carolina. What brought you there from the Pennsylvania area?
Good question. I was a tennis player growing up, and I was looking at a lot of different schools to play tennis, and so that kind of pulled me south. And hey, I'll be honest, I just didn't really like the weather much in Pittsburgh, so I wanted to get the heck out of there and come to the South. And Furman was the right kind of school. Loved the coach. The right size team for me, so I wanted to get down there, play some tennis, and go to a small school in the South.
Great. The experience you had, I've had quite a few actually. I had a great show a couple episodes ago with a professional baseball player. Obviously, it was actually a classmate of mine. Tennis playing at that level. I mean, what's some of those experiences that you've taken on? I mean, through your life now.
Oh, absolutely. It's a handful of things. I mean, in tennis, you're an individual sport, so you do rely on yourself. One of the great things, though, is that you do have that team aspect when you play at a school, when a Division I school like Furman, where you have to learn how to compete. You have to learn how to accept rejection and then move on. And you also learn how to cheer on your team. So that kind of stuff takes you through life anyway. And you learn how to set a goal. Work hard to achieve that goal. And one of the biggest things about tennis is that anywhere you go, you've got a built-in community that you can join.
Sure.
And
totally agree.
Build referrals, and so all of this really ties in very well to the business world.
Tennis is one of those lifetime sports.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that. I didn't play anywhere at the level you did, but my father, had me taking lessons at 7th and 8th grade, and I still enjoy when I have time. Although I can't remember the last time I picked up a racket, but my kids are now at that age, and I think I'm going to take them in just to give them that lifetime sport. Whether they go on to play collegiately or anything like that, it really doesn't matter. It's just the understand the sport, watch it. It's much like golf.
Right.
From that standpoint. But, you brought up a great analogy there of you're an individual, but yet you're part of a team. And do you see that a lot in real estate?
Well, yeah. So absolutely. I mean, real estate is certainly a one-on-one relationship with your customer. or with your client, whatever it might be. And there's all different aspects of real estate. You know, you're
Right.
on the lending side, we're on the buying and selling side, but you certainly have that one-to-one relationship. But everyone is a part of some kind of team. You know, I'm the broker for my business, Stage to Sell Realty, and so I'm there to support my team, to cheer them on, to celebrate the successes and learn from some of the failures, and help them to really be better as they grow their individual business. So it absolutely applies very well to this, you know, industry that we're both in, really.
Right. All right, so you move on from Furman, you go to graduate school at Emory,
Yep.
which is also a very highly respected institution.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts of what you wanted to do at this time?
Yeah, well, Furman, I was a psychology major at Furman. Just, you know, kind of liked that degree and liked the professors, liked the people I was working with there. But always wanted to go and be in business in some way. And so that was the impetus to go get my MBA in marketing. And when I was at Emory, it was really looking at marketing and working for either a brand company like a Procter & Gamble or something like that. I was
Right.
more in the marketing bent, and really ended up being more into entrepreneurial companies for a few years. Until I got to Comcast and spent a number of years there. So it was really kind of that marketing push that I was trying to do.
So you spent a good chunk of your professional career at Comcast, 17 years, if I saw that correctly.
That's right.
So to kind of like make that leap from these great institutions playing high level tennis, 17 years at Comcast, what breaks you out of Comcast to because you go into real estate from Comcast.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Yeah. What kind of ended your time there, besides pulling out your hair?
Pulling out my hair. Yeah. Well, that went out on its own. Yeah, that was early on. But and I was a trendsetter. This is a good look these days, right here. So
Right.
those of you who are watching on Facebook Live. Yeah, it was 2015, and it was one of those things where it was a transitional time. That Comcast over the years went from a very decentralized company that the GM in a particular market like Jacksonville would really control all aspects of the business. And then over the years, like a lot of businesses do, became very centralized. So the decision had to be either move to Atlanta or Philadelphia to continue the career.
Okay.
At the same time, Adrienne had morphed a handyman business into a staging business, and was starting to see that, hey, these people were doing handyman work in order to sell their house. I was really kind of doing the handyman work to help stage the house to get it to look its best.
Right.
So it turned into a real staging business, and then she added real estate. So all of this kind of, do I go to the next level with Comcast and go to a city like Atlanta or Philadelphia, or do we take that leap and start what we think was, or we thought at the time and still think is a very unique way to look at real estate and put staging and real estate together? Because, the crux of that is that we feel staging is the only way to sell and merchandise a home the best way. So we really made that decision, and we're going to go all in and grow this business at that time. So it was a real transition point.
I totally agree, and we'll definitely dig into that thought more, and why agents don't. But what year are we talking about?
That was 2015.
2015, you're getting your license.
2015, got my license. Yeah, Adrienne got hers. I got mine.
You went with Better Homes and Gardens.
We're all going in. Well, we started with Coldwell Banker.
Okay.
Actually, and loved Coldwell Banker. Did very well with them for about 2 years, and then did go to Better Homes and Gardens. Great experience with them. Loved the people at Better Homes, but decided that with our business model, and we always had in our mind to open our own brokerage.
Okay.
And so after the 2 years, we decided to do that, and I got my broker's license.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. So diving right in, she has a business level. You're helping her out while you're still working at Comcast.
A little bit, yep.
Yeah. You dive in. Do we go through a kind of a lean period of time there now? We go from the dual income to now we're all trying to be self-employed. How did you get through that? How did you transition up to.
Well, yeah, it's not easy. I mean, I'm not making as much money now as I probably was at Comcast, but you know what? I got a better lifestyle, and I enjoy what we're doing, and you're really passionate about it. So you don't work a day in your life if you love what you're doing.
Right.
And so yeah, sure. There's lean times there, but we had this vision and this passion, and we knew it was a long-term opportunity for us.
Right.
Great, more to grow a business than to just kind of create another job.
So I think this question you must get asked a lot. I can't imagine. I mean, it's the first thing I thought of when, you see Stage to Sell. I love the name, and it's Stage to Sell Realty. So you would think, at least a common person would think, okay, you have a stager. A stager is marketing to all agents and home buyers and sellers.
Sure.
But now you've brought in the realty part. Does that affect your business model? Does that affect a little bit from the marketing standpoint of marketing to some of the agents?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And that was a conscious decision that we made is we did start the business where the first couple years, a significant part of our revenue was staging for other real estate agents, for other realtors. But we felt that really to grow and become what we wanted to be is that we wanted to go all in with staging our own listings and really becoming a real estate company first and a staging company second. So it went from probably 80% staging business, 20% real estate, to now it's vice versa. And that was a conscious decision. We do staging work for other realtors, and we want to encourage and do that. So we market that a little bit. Adrienne does classes and does CE education. But that was a conscious decision because, to be honest, we might do a $4,000 or $5,000 staging job and make $400 or $500 profit, maybe $1,000 profit. Or we could sell a house for $500,000 and make several $1,000s.
Right.
So it's one of those kind of conscious decisions.
No, I wish more. I never priced out staging a home, so I don't.
Right.
How that goes down? Maybe that's something you can explain to us. But
sure.
From my side, looking at the industry, seeing something now, right now, could you get a lot of houses are sold before they are listed in the MLS.
Absolutely.
The agents are already calling and say, "Hey, I got a home coming up for sale next week," and everyone's already got it on their map either to go buy or they're already making an offer. And we are getting offers sight unseen.
Absolutely.
From up north and so forth. But during normal times, why someone doesn't stage a home. Or I watched Adrienne, even just how she came into our little studio here and her evaluation of what's going to look good. And I could see her and looking on your social media and website and so forth, how she comes into a home and even using the furniture that's in there.
Right.
Hey, we need to take some of this out. We need to take, whatever it is. And not every realtor can do that.
Right.
There are some realtors that are gifted, like Adrienne does, and sees that vision, sees what the picture's going to look like. Where others are just going in there and going, okay, you want to, okay, well, go ahead and vacuum and pick up the riffraff, and we're ready to show. When really there's a little more to that.
Yeah.
And really presenting a house the way it should be. Yeah.
Well, that's a big question, and you could go ahead and go get lunch, and I could sit here and riff for an hour on that question if you want, but we'll try to take a few nuggets out of there. Yeah, absolutely. We really want to challenge the realtors and real estate agents, anyone who's selling and buying real estate, to up their game a little bit. Is because we feel it's disrespectful to sell a home without it looking its best.
Right.
Okay? Even in this market, you mentioned, things are selling fast. Even in this market, when you make a home look its best, and the first showing is always online, so you're seeing it on a little phone or a tablet, maybe your computer.
Exactly.
And if the pictures aren't perfect, and if that room doesn't look great, or there's something offensive in that room, a lot of people are getting offended by a lot of things, so you don't want anything offensive in there.
Crazy as it is.
So all of those things are going to cause that person to go to the next house instead of staying and looking at that current one. So even in this market, staging is able to get more people looking at the home, which means you get more people into the home, which means you're getting more offers, which means you're getting more for the house, even in this one. I like to give a baseball analogy. I've heard you talk about that in your other podcasts. What we're looking to do is get more at-bats. Every at-bat is a person in the house. Mm-hmm. That means you're going to get more hits, and eventually you maybe get a home run and you get a great offer.
More offers, competitive offers.
Yeah,
hopefully a bidding war.
So that's what, absolutely. Yeah. So that's what our staging will do. And you're absolutely right. It's pre-packing, it's decluttering, it's removing some furniture, and it's coupled with professional photography. Mm-hmm. If you stage a house and then use a camera phone, it's a waste of time to stage it. Mm-hmm. Okay, and if you don't stage but use professional photography. Why? Because the house doesn't really look as good as it should.
It's very interesting you brought that up, because this morning I said, let me go see if there's some staging podcasts. Mm-hmm. Let me go see if they tell me something that maybe I'm not thinking about that might create a great question or a conversational piece. And I was surprised by some of they sounded like where they presented themselves or where they were guests on the podcast as very highly respected stagers. Mm-hmm. They do training internationally.
Right.
They've got master's degrees. One of them the master's degree was in, they use several different terms, but basically photography at a level, for that presentation. It's like you're saying, I think the builders will tell you the average person that comes into their model has already viewed it like 3 times online already.
Absolutely.
And obviously they have professionals setting up the model homes for the builders, mm-hmm. so that they look their best and give it the great space. So you're 100% on. I guess obviously the number one thing, and this was on the I started listening to different clips of podcasts because I was like, okay, well, that's subject matter. Let me look over here, see if the subject matter is a little different. But one of them was objection, and obviously the biggest objection is what it costs.
Right.
What is the cost? And I'm sure you have some stats on,
right.
How much faster it sells, how much more they get, and then versus obviously the number one objection is, well, it costs me money, right?
Right.
How much is it going to take out of my proceeds?
Here's a one-sentence answer to that. Mm-hmm. Maybe more applicable in 2020 and before than our wacky world of 2021, is staging is always less than your first price reduction. Okay? You think about how much you're going to reduce a price, average home, $300,000 in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. If you do a price reduction, how much you're going to do? $5,000, $10,000?
Right.
Okay.
So somewhere in the 290s.
Right.
Right.
So, so staging is never going to be $5,000 or $10,000 to stage that $300,000 house. Okay. So we talk about that, and here's another way to think about it is if you're going to go sell your car, okay, you're not going to just drive it the way it is right now to the dealership and say, give me some money. You're at least going to go detail the thing. I
don't know why. My wife insists on doing that. I'm like, honey, they don't care.
Okay.
So, everyone cleans their car.
Maybe to the dealer.
Yeah,
they
to the dealer, because
But if you're selling it to your buddy, you're selling it on Flip Swap or something like that.
Polish it up for sure. 100%.
Make it look as best. People will spend time doing that, but they won't spend time making their house, which is their largest investment that they will make in their life, their largest source of equity. Okay. And the part of the issue is that when people hear staging, they think, okay, I'm going to just get all my stuff out, and you're going to bring all your stuff in, because they watch a lot of HGTV.
Right.
So they see Flip or Flop, or they see Love It or List It, they see whatever, unsellable houses. There's a whole list that's my homework every night.
Yeah.
And so so they see this, and they see, okay, they brought all this stuff in, and they made it look great. Well, most staging is, like you say, an occupied home. And so you're just maximizing the look of that home. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's a little paint. Sometimes it's, we do an analysis from the front curb to the end of the backyard, all the way through the house, and say, here's what you need to do. It's our market ready report to get that house ready. And so it's more than just putting all new stuff into the house.
Right. I think a lot of people, in your life, you do certain things, and I go to start this podcast, I consulted some professionals, and there's some real estate agents that are good. They could be stagers too because
Sure.
they're good, but the majority of them are not.
Yeah.
And the majority of them, I wouldn't say majority, a good percentage of them actually don't have that heart-to-heart conversation with that homeowner that, hey, you know what, we really do need to remove grandma's photo from over here for now. Whatever that, to have that conversation that some things need to be done to set it up, and to have someone take a few moments. Yes, it's going to cost a little bit of money, but when that end game, like you said, your first price reduction is probably going to go from $300 to $295.
Yeah.
Where if you staged it, didn't even spend $5,000, you're probably going to get a second offer anyway, full boat.
Right.
To begin with,
you're gonna get get it for more than 300 potentially.
I was thinking about this morning. It's kind of that saying, do you hear the tree fall in the woods if you're not there in the woods, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know what it could or could not bring. And people wonder, hey, well, yeah, he got that much for it, but did the staging do that for them? I could see people go through this thought process, but the statistics are there.
They are. I mean, staged homes sell 80% faster. Again, that's a little bit more historical because how do you sell 80% faster than a day? Okay, in our world, right? But the things to think about, even in our world, and I if you're realtors, watching this, homeowners, and take a look, because even in our world today, homes are either selling in a couple days or they're selling in like 2 or 3 months. And the difference there is there's 3 things that affect that: price, appearance, and location. Okay, can't affect the location. The market is determining the price. The thing that we have the impact on is the appearance. So what we see lots of times is those homes that don't sell in a couple days, because that's what our market is dictating, means that they haven't done what they needed to do on the appearance. Yeah, maybe
control the controllables, and that's the appearance.
Right, and and maybe they've put the price so high that it's unreasonable. Sure, that happens because they're it's a crazy market. Someone's going to buy this for too much. Okay, but what I'm generally seeing is that they haven't taken care of the appearance, so that's not going to get them the price that the market should be giving you for that home. So once it sits there for a few weeks and a few more weeks, now all of a sudden it's, why is it sitting there that long? Okay, and becomes kind of this home that has a stigma to it. So now you're going to start reducing the price, and you're going to just shoot way past where you should have sold it anyway. Right,
100%. And I've watched some of those shows that you're talking about when they put the hidden cameras in when they're showing the house, and it's amazing how people go through a home, and you see people, any agent out here right now that's done an open house sees it. There's something about it could be the painting, the color of a room, the paint, which can be changed within hours.
Right.
But that is something that turns them off about a home.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind that we see this on a daily basis, and then you go back, control the controllables of the appearance, and the littlest thing could set that customer off. Bring in a professional. You may like that olive green room, and God bless you. However, you're trying to sell your home. We're talking about olive green money. Okay.
Right, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? You like the way I brought that in? So it's all about the dollars. Take yourself out of it as a seller. Now, here's the thing also I thought about too. One of the things when someone goes through a home and they look the way it's being taken care of, the appearance, the presentation, and they think about the seller. If they don't like something in the thing, they think less of you as a seller for whatever it may be. And now they're like, okay, am I buying a house from a seller who cared about their house?
Right.
Maybe they don't care about their house. Should I buy this house because maybe they didn't take care of something I can't actually see right now?
That's right.
That type of thing versus making it, like you said, it's how you present it. You're selling. If you were selling it to your friend, that car, you would go and have it cleaned up, shined up, make it look the best you could reasonably do, and present it to your friend. Even though your friend's probably driven around it when you had trash in it and everything else, right?
Sure.
But you're going to present it that way because now it looks like, hey, this this guy takes care of his car. This guy takes care of his house, and it's presented just like it would be on HGTV by spending a minor amount of money to have a professional do an overview.
And sometimes it's not much money. You know, a couple of things there is buying a home is a very emotional decision. Sure, you have some facts. You know, what's my mortgage rate to tell me how much I can afford? You know, come to you, you get that information. How much I can afford. Great. Then you've got those parameters. But then it's an emotional decision many times. So you want to make sure as a home seller that you provide the best look and what we like to call it is merchandising. I don't like to talk about I'm marketing a home or I'm selling a home. I like to get that home seller to realize that this is now a marketable product and we are merchandising your home for sale. Similar to the way a Walmart or a Nordstrom merchandise things. They merchandise things very differently, and you get different pricing at those two places for what might be a very similar product. Okay, because they are merchandised more effectively at one than the other.
They spend millions of dollars, billions of dollars. On
Absolutely, you know,
big time.
And so we have a tough conversation, and any realtor has a tough conversation. That's why you do bring in that professional to have that conversation for you as a realtor. Bring in Stage to Sell Design to have that conversation about, hey, this is now a marketable product. We're going to merchandise the home by doing X, Y, Z. Yeah, you need to get the Velvet Elvis off of the wall because that might not be preferable to
Elvis,
the most number of buyers, right? You know, the dog's playing poker. Yeah, you know, it's kind of cool.
The shag carpet might need to come up.
Absolutely, you know. And then there's trigger colors too. You know, there's a reason why you see a lot of grays and beiges, you know, in homes because they're non-offensive to anybody.
Right. Exactly. So. You know, that's a very great analogy. You know, we walk into these stores every day. These stores, whether it's the supermarket or it's Saks Fifth Avenue, Dillard's, whatever they are merchandised a certain way, set up a certain way to get you the music playing.
Sure, absolutely.
Is designed to get you to spend money. And why would you not spend a little bit on the biggest ticket item for 99.9% of the people, and that's their home? Or would they spend an extra $2,000 because your home just looked that much better?
That's right,
you know?
and people will, and you know, and it's not always money. Sometimes it's time. In fact, most of the time, it's just putting a little extra time. When we list a house, it never goes for sale a couple days after we've gotten the listing agreement. It's a 2-week, 4-week process, even today, to get that house ready. It's a whole list of things, and we sit down and we have an agreement with the homeowner about what they're willing to do. That's fine, and then we work within that.
That brings up a great transition. So we talked a lot about staging and the importance of that. I mean, definitely could carry on for hours about that. But let's transition over to the realty side, because you have this this marketing. You'll stage a home. If they hire you for the listings side of it, you'll go through, give them a professional evaluation, stage it as necessary,
for free. No cost.
It's coming out of your commission. The furniture does cost money. You have a warehouse that has furniture ready. It's not like you're going out and finding this stuff and scrambling together. You guys have a warehouse, which you brought these beautiful chairs from here. Tell us about you've got a potential client maybe watching this Facebook Live right now. There might be, hey, we're going to maybe this fall sell our home. What's this process? What they want to contact you? What are they going to expect from you and Adrienne? How do you proceed from there?
I appreciate that. Yeah, Kevin Grant, Stage to Sell Realty. I mean, if you want to contact me, it's 904-478-1713. You can go to stagetoselljax.com is our website. You can also look up Stage to Sell on Facebook. But we are unique in that at no charge to the customer, and by the way, no charge to our realtors, and we call them staging agents, for the cost of staging, that's all something that's part of what we feel is the way to merchandise a home. So if you call us, we'll sit down and we'll do a market ready report, which is a beginning of the house, so front of the house to back of the house through all the rooms, a detailed list of what to do to get that house ready. It could be as simple as pre-packing, doing some movement of furniture. Sometimes it's just putting some things in the garage so that you've got better flow in the house. Ultimately, our goal is to have your house look its best for that first showing, which is always online. The very first showing. Think about it. The first time someone that is going to potentially buy your house is going to see it on their phone. They're on Zillow, they're on Redfin, they're on Realtor, etc. They see your home. You want it to be the one that they stay on, then decide to come in and see it. So you get more offers and you get more money. So it's that process that we go through. Sounds a little daunting, but I think you'll see that our customers are ones that appreciate what they have been able to do, and certainly a lot of customers that refer us to others because of the process that we take them through.
Mm-hmm. They get that extra dollar. I just it's amazing that people don't. The agents aren't more regularly doing it. And there's some stagers around town that are good, like yourselves.
Absolutely.
And you know, you made a good point. People are looking at it online. We mentioned that a few minutes ago. There's people buying houses unseen. We've got realtors walking through homes with their cell phones doing a FaceTime video call with clients that are in other states.
Absolutely.
Why do you not want your home to look its ideal best? They're not, when you ask them the price, everyone always wants a discount, right? They want to be sold into it. But isn't it, how many times have you walked into a place and it's just like, you feel like $1 million, but they're not charging you $1 million, and you're like, no problem.
Right.
You know, because you already perceive the value to be more than what they're actually charging anyway, because of the presence and what it looked like. It looks like $1 million, but they're only charging me $300,000 for it. Great. Right. They don't even negotiate, just a full price offer.
Yeah. And a lot of the things that you'll see on our Facebook page, you probably saw this, Tracy, is you might not necessarily know what price point house that came from. We've got some photos on there that are absolutely gorgeous that are flip homes in Murray Hill that probably sold for $150,000. Okay, and we make every house look its absolute best. You get back to the model homes, builders are the best at it. Okay, they furnish that model home for an emotional experience. You know, they'll have the kids' room look just so. They have a little stop and drop with the cute little flip flops and mud boots there,
right?
Because you have that emotional experience,
right?
Well, that's all part of selling that home, and it's very simple things. And yes, we are trying to kind of lift all boats by encouraging staging, and we have seen over the last 7 years a huge increase in the amount of realtors that are using staging. It's still in its infancy in this area.
Yeah.
And we want to continue to encourage that, and we're here to help any realtor who wants to bring us in to have that difficult conversation with their customer. We're not trying to take your business. We're trying to stage a home and just do better for the whole industry.
Right.
Is really a lot of what we do.
Funny. You talk to a lot of agents. I think any agents listening to this, or you would talk to, would say, "Oh, I treat the $100,000 customer the same way I treat the $750,000 $1 million customer. You know, I give them the same amount of attention and so forth." The $750 million home, are you staging that? Probably, if it's empty. Are you
not
staging
even
the
empty.
$125,000 home, or are you just skipping over it and saying, "Oh, whatever"? There's plenty of buyers here.
Right. Yeah. We staged a 27-room house on Ponte Vedra Boulevard a couple years ago. 27 rooms. Wow. They had a few rooms that had some of their stuff in, but we still put our stuff in.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
6 beds, 6 baths, some living spaces, little outdoor space. It's what was necessary to sell that house.
I always make the joke or the fact, how many people walk into an empty room, bedrooms especially, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if my king size bed will fit in here." I mean, how many times, or the couch?
Absolutely.
I don't know if my couch is good. We literally have people buying homes to fit their furniture versus the furniture to fit the home.
Yeah, yeah.
So having it staged takes that doubt away.
Right.
Yes, a king size bed does fit in here. Your couch is roughly the same size as this couch I've got in here. It'll fit. You know, those little things.
Right.
And we're only talking getting to make up for what you're charging, a couple $1,000s on a $300,000. It's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big. It's not at all. In fact, it pays for itself. I mean, it really does pay for itself in getting more offers, which is going to bid it up a little bit, and being able to have people visualize themselves in the home. And in a lot of our newer homes, they're a lot more open. So sometimes people have trouble kind of visualizing, how do I use this space? You know,
Yeah.
what do I use this for? Is this a dining
Great
room
point.
or a living room?
Great
Or
point.
is this, or how would I situate my couch in here? Where does my TV go?
Right,
Okay?
right.
I mean, so all of those things you can answer with setting the home up and merchandising it properly.
My wife is only a couple years into she's an agent as well, and she has noticed the homes that she has staged do not get so many of the pushback on the home inspections. There may be a ding in the wall or whatever, and it's not like you're hiding it.
Right.
But when you have an empty room and people have the only things they can stare at are the abnormalities in the room, and that may be a little scratch on the wall, that may be a little blemish in the flooring or something like that, and the staging just takes their eyes off of that, and they're getting less pushback on that.
That's a good point. Takes their eyes off it. You're not hiding stuff. That's not the goal of staging, is to just put it over the hole in the floor or something. No, in fact, that's not what you want to do. That's,
Right.
But you're right. It brings the eye to a certain place. It takes them to that emotional piece, and it makes it look like the home is taken care of. If maybe there's a little deferred maintenance,
Right.
it's not as obvious.
Right. They're not. Well, he takes care of everything else, so that's not a big deal. I'm not going to hit him for that.
Right.
I don't know if have you read Ryan's book?
I have not. But
You
I
have
need
not
to get
read
that.
this
I
book,
love that,
so
yeah.
this is my gift to all my guests. I've read both of Ryan Serhant's book. Everyone listens to my podcast. I mention him all the time. Obviously, I love his show. Extremely entertainment, but his books are written really well. And I'm gonna order some more Big Money, and I'm also gonna order the original book because a lot of people haven't selling like Serhant.
Okay.
Which is really good read, but this is my gift to you.
Well, I appreciate
today for coming
that.
by.
Thank you very much,
No
sir.
problem. Thank
All
you.
right.
So you want to mention one more time what's the best way to reach you and Adrienne?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Again, Kevin Grant and Adrienne Lord. I'm the broker with Stage to Sell Realty. My direct line is 904-478-1713. We're located on Phillips Highway, right near the Setzers building, halfway between Bay Meadows and Butler Boulevard. Come see us if you're in that area, because we've got a 5,000 square foot office and showroom that we would love to take you on a tour and see all of our tools that we use to stage homes. So yeah, Kevin Grant, 904-478-1713.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right.